Hello and welcome to Overthinking, the show that is exactly what it sounds like. I'm your host, the guy who does everything on this channel. What's today's topic? Today's topic, I will answer that question that I just asked myself, is the problems with Slytherin. The problems with Slytherin? You ask, what? I'll tell you, inexplicably confused person. Slytherin House, Harry Potter. I'm going to be referencing books and movies. I'm going to try and not reference fan fiction, but we'll see how that goes. So, spoilers, if you're like the two people that haven't yet watched/read the Harry Potters. Let's go for some quick background first. What is Slytherin? Right, Slytherin is the fourth of four, or first of four, or second or third. It doesn't really matter what place, one of the four Hogwarts houses. Now, Hogwarts houses are Gryffindor, Slytherin, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff. Okay, let's go over the houses, main characters in them, firstly. Main characters in Gryffindor, all of them, really. The Weasleys, all of them. Harry, Hermione, Dumbledore, McGonagall. The Ravenclaws, Luna, Flitwick, I guess. Hufflepuff, fucking no one. Ernie Macmillan is mentioned. Justin Finch-Fletchley. Cormac McLagan. These aren't main characters, as you can tell. And Susan Bones is also a Hufflepuff. Famous / important / main Slytherins. Snape, Voldemort, Draco Malfoy, Lucius Malfoy, all of the Malfoys. Pansy Parkinson, not really a main character, important in a point I'll make later. So, let's go over how many of those characters are evil. How many main Gryffindor characters are evil? 1, Peter Pettigrew. I didn't mention him, forgot. Peter Pettigrew. 1 evil Gryffindor. How many evil Ravenclaws? 0. How many evil Hufflepuffs? 0. How many evil Slytherins? All of them. All of them except Snape, sort of, and Merlin, who you never actually see. And I don't think it's even mentioned in the films, but in the books it is mentioned Merlin was Slytherin. Now, what? It's too hot. Why did I even put a shirt on? Slytherin. Evil house, right? No, wrong. That is the answer to that question. Why did I even ask it if I knew the answer? Because you probably didn't. Right. The houses. Yes, all of the evil characters, for one, come from Slytherin, including the main bad guy and the sort of annoying little shit school bully. Not the point, however. The point is, why? Why does everyone think Slytherin's evil? Why is Slytherin the evil house? Why are there more dark wizards from Slytherin than from any other house? Questions. Let's go over this. The Hogwarts houses. How you get sorted, right? There's 4 houses. Boom. You come in, 11. Hat on head. I don't own a sorting hat, so we're going to use this Santa hat. Hat on head. It goes in your brain. Magic. What are you? Person. Answer to that. No. 4 houses, 4 criteria. Well, sort of like 8 criteria, because each one has about 2. But 4 kinds of person. 4 kinds of person. Firstly, Gryffindor. Right. Bravery, nobility. Sweet. Second, Ravenclaw. Intelligence, wisdom. Thirdly, Hufflepuff. Loyalty, hard-working. What's the term for that in the same tense? I don't know. Hard work ability? Don't know. Fourth, Slytherin. Cunning, ambition. Blood status, sort of. Not quite. Okay. All 4 sound like decent things. I mean, let's go through the criteria one by one. Bravery? Yeah, pretty cool. Nobility? Fair enough. Intelligence? Yeah, that's good. Wisdom? Loyalty? Yeah, that's always a plus. Hardworking? Helpful? Yeah. Cunning? Ambition? Good. Cunning? What's cunning? Cunning is a kind of intelligence. It's being street smart, knowing how to manipulate people, etc. Not the nicest form of intelligence, but not necessarily has to be used for bad. Right, next up, we're going to go through a good example of someone from a house, then a bad example of someone from that same house. Gryffindor. Good example of a Gryffindor, McGonagall. She's brave, but she's not stupid. She respects authority, but she's not afraid to break or bend the rules if she feels like it's necessary. For example, when Umbridge is reigning terror, McGonagall A, looks the other way from DA, and B, whispers to Peeves how to unscrew a chandelier to drop on the floor. But she's not stupid, she doesn't go around breaking rules willy-fucking-nilly like the rest of the shit Gryffindors. she's good. I like McGonagall, because you don't think she's brave, but she is brave, because she's a member of the Order, fights at school, duels Voldemort at one point. Just, yeah, that happens. Not in the films, obviously. Films are shit. Well, films aren't as good as books. Not there, but in the books, she duels Voldemort, like the big snake nose murder guy. Bad Gryffindor. 2 examples. A. Peter Pettigrew, bad Gryffindor because he's not brave or noble. Whoops. How the fuck did he get sorted into Gryffindor? But other bad Gryffindor is Gryffindor still has the qualities but is bad. James Potter. What? James Potter? He's a good guy, right? No. He's a fucking arsehole. James Potter is a bully. He bullies Snape a lot. He's a total prick. Why? Because he's a Gryffindor, so he's got a superiority complex. He's so brave and manly. He doesn't care about breaking the rules. He is a shit. He's a big shit. Good Ravenclaw. Luna. She's smart, wise. The end. Bad Ravenclaw. We don't get enough Ravenclaw characters for me to make that judgment. Good Hufflepuff. We don't get any sort of judgment, but really, is there any way to turn loyalty and hard work into negatives? I don't think so. Find a way. Slytherin. Good Slytherin. Slughorn. Bad Slytherin. Draco Malfoy. Fuck it. I don't know. Bad Slytherin. Voldemort. Right. Why is Slughorn a good Slytherin is the question. And the answer to that question is what I'm about to say. Slughorn embodies Slytherin characteristics. Ambition, cunning. I've already explained those. How? Well, I'm going to tell you. Why do you keep asking all these questions? Firstly, ambition. He wants to be powerful, he wants to be well known, he wants to have lots of stuff. Admirable goal, I would say. Right, how does he achieve this? Cunning. Cunning. He befriends people. That's his big evil Slytherin plot, making friends. Obviously, not just friends with any random schmuck that comes along. Friends with either people who are relatives or friends or famous people, or people who he thinks will one day be famous themselves, i.e. Gwenog Jones, Holyhead Harpies. He befriended her when she was still a young Quidditch player because she was obviously going to be a Quidditch prodigy. Harry Potter, he's famous. People like Hermione, she's very smart. He knows she's going to go places. That way, when they become inevitably super rich and famous, he can be like, hey Gwenog, you're my buddy. I don't know why I'm phoning you. We wizards don't use phones. Hey Gwenog, I'm writing you a letter that I'm going to put on my owl. Not put on it, tied to it. Give me free tickets. And Gwenog will be like, yeah, seems fair. Here you go, here's some free tickets. He's got all the power. He's friends with people in the ministry. He's friends with everyone. Because he's clever and cunning. Not evil. Doesn't use anything dark. He's a bit of a dick in that he only likes people who he thinks are going to be famous or who already are famous. But so, I mean, if his big evil thing is not being friends with everyone, then I think we can say safely quite a good person. Also, he duels Voldemort too, so that's that. Bad Slytherin, or evil Slytherin. Bad Slytherin's a whole other thing. Evil Slytherin, Lucius Malfoy. Good in terms of obeying the qualities. He's cunning. He knows it's better to be the guy behind the minister, controlling him, than the minister himself. Ambitious, wants to, like, rule, basically. So yeah, he's good at that, but he's a bad person. But not a bad person because he's in Slytherin, and he's not in Slytherin because he's a bad person. He's just a bad person who is in Slytherin. Slytherin's qualities, cunning and ambition, lend themselves to dark wizardry. It's a shame, but it's true. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you're ambitious... Ow, fucking hell, cat is... Well, if you're ambitious, you want to be at the little tippy top of the pyramid. That is where you want to be. Tippy top. Obviously, this pyramid not necessarily has to be the pyramid of all, making you Lord Ruler like Voldemort. It could just be the tippy top of your own little thing, like Snape, Master Potion Master. Redundant use of the word master there. Potioneer, uber potioneer, right? Tippy top of the scale. That's where he wants to be. That and boning Lily Potter, but that is a whole other topic that I will get into much later on. Right. If you're ambitious, you want to be at the top. If you are cunning, you know how to get to the top. Obviously, that lends itself to certain moral flexibility. The fact of the matter is, cunning and ambition, to get on their own, or together even, aren't necessarily negative qualities, as Slughorn shows. But it's a lot easier to achieve your ambitions by being a twat to people. And if you're cunning, you know how to be the right kind of twat, like Lucius Malfoy. He's a giant arsehole, but he's very powerful in the wizarding world and very rich because he's cunning. So, yeah, statistically, if we look at the 4 groups and look at their qualities and look at how likely those qualities are to lend themselves to dark wizardry, you get this picture, basically. Gryffindor, bravery and nobility. Well, there's a possibility that could be, you know, evil. There's no... Bravery is not necessarily good bravery. Nobility, yeah, iffy. As seen, Gryffindors are bully arseholes. So maybe not out-and-out dark wizards, but certainly not nice people. Hufflepuff, stricken, no evil wizards could ever come from Hufflepuff, because Hufflepuff is literally the house that's like friends. It's the friend house. It's the lovely, nice friendship house. It's the best house in terms of social status. Not the best house though. That's Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw. Wisdom, intelligence. Lend themselves to dark wizardry quite readily. People who want to be smart and have knowledge, but there is forbidden knowledge. There are things in the wizarding world that are not allowed to be studied. Necromancy for one. The Unforgivables are also illegal. Ravenclaws are the only one of the 4 houses likely to be wanting to investigate these forbidden magics. Thus, dark wizardry, purely out of necessity. Slytherin, cunning, ambition, yeah, you're going to get some dark wizards, but more than that, you're going to get successful dark wizards. Here is the crux of it. A dark wizard from Gryffindor is not particularly smart, or strong, or cunning, necessarily. Going to get shafted by someone else. Wizarding world, snap him up, auras, hit wizards, whatever. Hufflepuff, dark wizard, again, can't exist. Ravenclaw, dark wizard, can give a bit more trouble, but at the end of the day, probably be a bit silly about just straight out and out, I'm gonna gain this knowledge, oh, I've just got killed by 14 different wizards with, like, 12 spells each. Slytherins, however, cunning, ambitious, clever, gonna be able to snake their way around things and get power without being shut down. Proof is in every Slytherin. Not every Slytherin. Most Slytherins. Some Slytherins. A good portion of Slytherins. So now the question comes, if dark wizardry is not necessarily a result of Slytherin, why does Slytherin produce more dark wizards? Jellyfish. Answers coming your way. Stigma. Stigma? What's stigma? Stigma is, you're bad for this, basically. It's, I don't like you because of this. There's a stigma against being racist, for example. Good stigma. Not all stigmas are good, however. In the 50s there would have been a stigma against a woman who wanted to work, for example. There's a stigma against being a Slytherin. Why? Because of Tom Riddle. Right, Tom Riddle comes out of Slytherin. Before that, yeah, Grindelwald was the latest dark wizard besides Tom Riddle, so not a Slytherin. He went to Durmstrang, which already has a bad reputation for the dark arts, you know. So until Tom Riddle, the most famous Slytherin that we hear about until him, besides Salazar, is Merlin. I mean, you get an Order of Merlin if you do something really good. So the most recent Slytherin in people's memories is a beast, essentially, who everyone likes, and who is like the greatest hero the wizarding world has. And then Tom Riddle comes along, and he recruits out Slytherin, because people in Slytherin are clever. They might not necessarily agree with Voldemort, but they know he's going to win, basically, and if it wasn't for bullshit, he would. I'm dropping things because I'm so excited. They knew, right, that you've got, on the one hand, the wizarding world, who we've seen multiple times are fucking inept, and that's a whole other topic. On the other hand, you've got clever, charming, brilliant guy who knows how to worm his way around people. Not to mention, why can Tom Riddle get more Slytherins to his cause than, say, Ravenclaws, Hufflepuffs and Gryffindors? Easy. Exposure. Think about it, right? When you were at school, who did you make friends with? People in your classes, people in your tutor group, etc. Who didn't you make friends with? People in different classes and different tutor groups who you didn't have any cross-interaction with. Of course, unless people go out and make an effort to make friends with people from other tutor groups who aren't in their classes, they probably won't. The only way people make friends with people who are in none of their classes is by making friends through other people. All of my friends were in at least one of my classes or my tutor group, or both. And the friends I had that weren't in either of those things, which are limited as it was, I met through the friends in the other groups. So basically, Tom Riddle is constantly around Slytherins. He's going to naturally be able to talk to Slytherins more. Because the only time he's with other houses is in lessons, and in lessons, they're split, you know? And it's not the best environment. Every house is kind of insular, you see. That gets even worse after Tom Riddle, but that's not the point. The point is now, Tom Riddle is with Slytherins all the time. Every lesson, he's with other Slytherins, at least some. He lives in the same common room as them. He's on the same team when it comes to House Cup, Quidditch Cup, blah blah blah. He sits in the stands with them to watch Quidditch. He is a Slytherin. He is part of this group. He's with them all the fucking time. His only time outside of being with Slytherins is his free time, which he spends with his friends, who naturally are going to be Slytherins. So of course he's going to have more Slytherin friends, and thus more Slytherin minions, because how's he going to make friends with Gryffindors? Oh, I've got a lesson with Gryffindors, going to go over there and make friends with them. It's not as easy for him to talk to the others. So of course he's recruiting at Slytherin. Plus, Slytherin is the house that has the features that make them most likely to go with him. Gryffindors would be, oh, I'm so noble, I don't do that. Ravenclaws, I just want to read my books. Hufflepuffs, I like food and other people, I'm nice. Slytherins, however, cunning. They know they can predict a winner, you know? Regardless of their feelings towards his politics, they understand that he is a clever guy. Not to mention, he's charming, he's witty, he can control people, and Slytherins are going to like him naturally, aren't they? Because think about it, what does Tom Riddle do? Gets stuff right, does things well. House points, records, victories, that's all the things that come from Tom Riddle that Slytherin is going to be like, yeah, great, you keep getting house points because we get a reward from that, yeah. So he's got people who like him and he's constantly with, and who are clever enough to know, this guy's probably going to win. Of course he's going to get more Slytherin followers. So Slytherins are not evil, they were just an easier target for him, coupled with the fact that they are the house most likely to see the bigger picture, and regardless of whether they actually agree with his politics or not, know that, well, I can disagree with his politics and get fucking murdered, or I can pretend to agree with them and live a decent life, albeit a bit of a murderous one. It's just logic, isn't it? Then, post Tom Riddle. People hate Slytherin. Why? Tom Riddle came from Slytherin, so did most of his followers, if not all. It's not all, so most. Shit. Now everyone hates Slytherin, which means, who is gonna go to Slytherin? Who? Right. Think about it. Going to Slytherin, one of the 4 houses, you're an 11-year-old, right? You sit on your little stool like, oh, I'm gonna get sorted. 3 houses everyone loves, 1 house everyone thinks is evil. Which of those houses are you most likely to go, I don't want to be in that house? The one everyone thinks is evil. Which means anyone who might have Slytherin qualities, but doesn't want to be called evil, i.e. the majority of 11-year-olds, because who wants to be immediately put in the group of bad people who no one likes? Obviously, they're going to want to go to one of the other 3 houses. Which means Sorting Out's going to do exactly what it did for Harry and go, yeah, okay, fine, go to Gryffindor or Ravenclaw, whatever. Slytherin is not going to get those people. The only people who are going to want to go to Slytherin are people who don't mind the stigma. The people who don't mind the stigma are the people who the stigma applies to. So, stigma is this. You're a pureblood fanaticist, you're a Death Eater or Death Eater wannabe, you're a dark wizard. Now, the only people who want to have those labels applied to them are the people who those labels apply to. I.e. the Malfoys, for example. Draco wants to go to Slytherin. He knows people will think he's a Death Eater sympathist, pureblood supremacist, and dark wizard, because he is those things. So, 2 kinds of people. Slytherins who are evil, and Slytherins who aren't evil. The hat sits on them. Slytherins who are evil go, yeah, put me in Slytherin, I'm evil. Slytherins who aren't evil go, please don't put me in Slytherin, people think I'm evil. Meaning, they don't go to Slytherin. Meaning the only people who go to Slytherin are the evil people. And that's obviously a cycle, because then more evil people come from Slytherin, Slytherin gets even more of a reputation as being evil. Not to mention, let's say you're a non-evil person who goes to Slytherin. Okay, you've gone to Slytherin. Now, 3 houses out of 4 hate you for being evil, and the house you're in hates you for not being evil enough. Because the other people in there are pureblood supremacists. So if you're not, they're not going to like you. They are Death Eater sympathists. If you're not, they're not going to like you. But the other 3 don't like you because they don't believe that you're not those things. So, a Slytherin who isn't a Death Eater, pureblood, blah blah blah, is going to be hated by all 4 of the 4 houses. Most 11-year-olds are not going to volunteer themselves for that. They're going to do everything they can to get out, including begging a fucking hat. Now, that raises the question, Crabbe and Goyle. Crabbe and Goyle? Crabbe and Goyle. Crabbe and Goyle are not Slytherin, let's be honest here. Are they cunning? No. Are they ambitious? Not particularly. They are dumb, hired muscle of the Malfoys, literally only exist because their parents are Death Eaters. Shit Death Eaters as well. So why are they in Slytherin if that's the cunning, ambitious house? Because there's nowhere else for them to go, for one, that's another issue I'll talk about in a second, and 2, because they don't mind going there. They want to be in Slytherin. And the hat's got no choice. It's like, well, there's nowhere that you actually fit, because that's the thing. There's no house for the shits. There's no house for the idiots. If you're brave, you go to Gryffindor. If you're intelligent, you go to Ravenclaw. If you're nice and loyal, you go to Hufflepuff. And if you're cunning and ambitious, you go to Slytherin. What if you're none of those things? What if you're just a big prick? Those people exist. Crabbe and Goyle are an example. Where do they fit? They don't actually fit anywhere. So where are they going to go? The place they want to go. And where do they want to go? The Slytherin house, because that's where their parents were. Their parents who actually were evil. Which means they want to go to the evil house, because they are evil, and they don't actually fit any house, so it's not the sort of that's going to go, well, you want to go to Slytherin, but you suit Ravenclaw. So I was going to go, well, fuck it, might as well put you there. Otherwise, it'd end up putting like 2 people in Slytherin every year. If they're only putting people who both fitted and didn't mind the stigma. And then the people would be evil. So Slytherin gets more and more evil people because the people who aren't evil don't want to be in Slytherin because they all get called evil. And anyone who goes in there who isn't evil will be shafted and hated until eventually they turn evil. Slytherin is just this insular house. The inter-house community as a whole is not very good. I mean, they don't hang out very often. But it's even worse for Slytherin. Slytherin's very insular, and it has to be because everyone's united. When Ravenclaw play Hufflepuff, people will cheer for either side. When Gryffindor play Ravenclaw, or Gryffindor play Hufflepuff, or Ravenclaw play... Yeah, people will cheer for either side. But when anyone plays Slytherin, everyone boos Slytherin. Every last person boos Slytherin, except for the Slytherins. So there's going to be the sense of, it's us against the world, and that's gonna drive you to bad shit. And then if Voldemort comes along and goes, hey mate, I noticed you're smart, ambitious, and everyone hates you. You wanna come here where we don't hate you and you can rule those people? Who in their right mind as an 11-year-old, as later, 17-year-old, is gonna say no to that? To acceptance, to love, and to power? Who is gonna say no to that shit after a lifetime of basically being told you're an evil piece of shit, even when they're not? I mean, think about it. Why doesn't Harry go to Slytherin? Why does Harry say not Slytherin? Ron. Ron knows Slytherins are evil, or thinks Slytherins are evil. Why? 2 things. Firstly, there's not a witch or wizard who went bad who wasn't in Slytherin. Lies. Peter Pettigrew, or at least at the time, Ron thinks Sirius Black. Either way, both Gryffindor, so Ron's already lying. Or maybe he doesn't know about Sirius Black. The point is, he's wrong. 2, Fred and George told him. Fred and George, who were told by Bill, who were told by Charlie. Probably told by Arthur, or probably around at such a time as the First Wizarding War, even if they were only his kids, so they're aware of why Slytherin has a stigma. Which means Ron, without ever meeting a Slytherin or ever even setting foot on Hogwarts grounds, already hates Slytherin and thinks they're evil. And obviously, the only people who won't have that instilled in them are either Slytherins, or families of Slytherins obviously, or Muggleborns. Muggleborns. If you overhear a conversation as a Muggleborn that says, don't go to Slytherin, they're evil. I mean, even if no one's talking directly to you, as they obviously are, overhear someone say, oh, I hope I don't get into Slytherin, evil people. You're a Muggleborn. You know shit all about the world. You don't know the complex socio-political reasons people hate Slytherin. All you know is, that house is full of evil people, according to the people I know. You're not going to want to go there. There is the only way Slytherin will ever get good people and stop being hated is if some people who are aware of the stigma go to Slytherin and go, no, I want to go to Slytherin. I know everyone will hate me and everyone in Slytherin will hate me too, but I'm determined to prove them wrong. I was able to work my hardest through Hogwarts, be good and nice, come out of it and be a good and nice person and prove that not all Slytherins are evil. That needs to happen a few times, right? Or at least once really well. But what 11-year-old has that level of foresight, planning and altruism? None. So Slytherin is not an evil house. It's a house that had a few evil people, and now the stigma has set it into a cycle where the only way to survive as a Slytherin is to be evil. I'm really out of breath and I'm sweating. I've never done a video this energetic before. It's probably all roundabout and doesn't make a lot of sense. I could have written a script, but I've had this idea float around my head for a long time, so I just thought I'd get it out. Thank you for watching Overthinking It. I will be back, I don't know, in a while with my next episode. Thank you. Just wanted to quickly say a great big thanks for the intro to Stefan. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. And he doesn't normally do this sort of thing, he just did it as a favour to me. But check out his blog where he writes a lot of really cool stuff. There's the link. But seriously, check him out.